Well, with Daizen's shock defeat of Musashi Maru on day 10, let's level it up a bit. There are 3 wrestlers in the lead now: Musashi Maru, Tochiazuma, and Takanonami. Takanonami there behind this group of 3. It's the man who was Ozeki for goodness knows how long. A long time, faded recently, but suddenly there's a spark of life in him and he's up amongst the leaders again. So let's go to a first of our bouts. On day 11, it's Aminishiki against Kitazakura. They've had met twice before, each has won once. Kitazakura not too sharp on coming forward. That's the crossing the line and charging into the other wrestler. Tends to receive him a bit. Not a lot of movement there, as you can see from him. It's a big wrestler, 178 kilos. Aminishiki is almost 50 kilos lighter, which is about a 110-pound difference. Well, there Aminishiki disposed of the bigger man, though, without too much trouble. He shoved him down from behind. Let's watch that one again. So Aminishiki comes forward a little bit faster than Kitazakura. And Aminishiki's locked in on the front of the belt there. Manages to get round behind. That's when Kitazakura lost his grip and then got dumped outside the ring. Short squat wrestler now, Otsukasa against Tochisakae. Tochisakae set out the last basho with a foot injury. These two have met 3 times previously. Tochisakae's won 2 of them. So nice vigorous start, some slaps there from Otsukasa, but he was slapping as he was being driven backwards out of the ring. And that was 4th win for Tochisakae. Otsukasa not doing too bad so far, has had 6 wins. A couple more and he'll be into Kachikoshi country. Now Kyokushuzan against Buyuzan. Buyuzan, ex-amateur champion in his first basho. Old wrestler, 37 years old, fights Kyokushuzan at 28. So there's a nice sidestep and a slap. Doesn't quite bring it off, but Buyuzan closes in. And some nice balletic movements there from Kyokushuzan. Got chased around the ring a bit there by this veteran. And got pushed out with oshidashi. So a loss there, 3rd loss for Kyokushuzan, 6th win for Buyuzan. Now Higonoumi. He's got quite a bad shoulder injury. You can see it's well taped up there. Fighting Chiyotenzan. About the same weight, these two, both close to 150 kilos, which is average for this this division. Well, some nice series of moves there, but well, that looked painful. So Higonoumi gets dumped down on his shoulder and his offer is suffering, and it's not his bad shoulder either. That's his left shoulder there, it's his right shoulder that's taped up. So that was straight down onto the shoulder, and that is not a resilient surface they land on. It's almost like pavement, it's hard. Well, let's see how he fares after that. It looks as though he's in a bad way. Next match between Tamakasuga, known in the sumo world as Machan, and he's fighting Hamanishiki. These two have never met before. Aminishiki dives down with a head, and it's Tamakasuga is using his forearm there to lift his head if he can, but he loses the momentum, and it's Tamakasuga who keeps it going the whole time and scores that one. Now Wakanoyama, 160 kilos, fights Kyokutenho at 145 kilos. Kyokutenho's got 5 wins, so is Wakanoyama. So that's a nice front belt grip from Kyokutenho there. Shoved in hard, lifted up at the same time, floated Wakanoyama backwards off that lifting grip. And eventually a yorikiri over the edge of the dohyo. Dohyo is made up of two Japanese words. Do is clay and hyo is straw bales, and that's exactly what the ring's made of. Big chunk of clay and straw bales, small ones that mark off the circle and various other parts of the ring. Now it's Tosanoumi against Oginishiki. Well, Oginishiki powered out there straight from the start. Nice forward movement with his feet. Because when all wrestlers tend to come forward from the tachiai, but it's having met the other one, they have to keep that forward movement going. That's the dayashi bit. Faster they can explode into that, the better. Keep the momentum going. So that was third win for Oginishiki. He's already got makikoshi. He's got 8 losses already. And that was makikoshi for Tosanoumi with that 8th loss. Takanowaka now. Well, since he's moved up to Maegashira 2, he's not doing too well against the top rank group. Got 7 losses so far. Here fighting Akinoshima. Well, big flurry there of Tsuppari attacks to Akinoshima. Now settling down on the belt. Giving up the Tsuppari. Now there's the overarm throw. Well, that was very powerfully done. So uwatenage win there for Takanowaka over Akinoshima. That was Akinoshima's 7th loss, and it was Takanowaka's 4th win. Well, it's getting a bit close to the end of this basho now, and this is where the wrestlers get a little bit nervous about their ranking position. Of course, those right down the bottom in the around Maegashira 14 or 15 worry the most, because they could drop out of this Makuuchi division. They put in a bad performance. So here Tokitsuumi against Tamanoshima. Tamanoshima in the blue mawashi there. Bit of a mistake there. Tokitsuumi attacked with the Tsuppari, but got turned his body somewhat on that enabled Tamanoshima just to slot in almost behind and force him out with yorikiri. And Tamanoshima collects a little bit of prize money. Well, he's the veteran, Takanonami, coming down the flower path of this Fukuoka International Centre where the sumo is being held, and he's doing very well this time out. Now it's Wakanosato against Dejima. They've had 9 head-to-heads previously. Wakanosato has won 5 of them. Both about the same weight, around the 150 kilo mark, so it's slamming of chests into each other, but it's Wakanosato receives the shock and then pulls Dejima down. 6th loss for Dejima there. A little bit of use of the forearm of Wakanosato's as Dejima came out. He lifted his head with the forearm. So hatakikomi win for the powerhouse Wakanosato. Now Kotonowaka, tall wrestler, fighting very small wrestler, 121 kilos, fights just under 180 kilos. Big difference in size. Kaiho with 5 wins. Kotonowaka with 5 wins. Now Kotonowaka's got those 2 big arms of his locked right the way round in that Kimi hold. That's the arm breaking hold we've seen with some other wrestlers like Takanonami and Masashi Maru. And you can see Kaiho there grimacing. His arms were well and truly stretched. But from that Kimi hold, Kotonowaka releases and just does a straight overarm throw with a little bit of pressure on the forearm as well. So 6th win for Kotonowaka, 6th loss for Kaiho. Chazuma settling down there. And Kaiho on the other side. Next bout, Mongolian Asa Shoryu and Takanonami. Well, I've said before, Asa Shoryu is no respecter of persons or veterans. No doubt he'll come out like a rocket and slap Takanonami around as best he can. You can see the tension in the Mongolian's body. He just can't wait to steam into this big man. Takanowaka about 6'7" tall. Asashoryu much shorter, much lighter. It's about a 35 kilo difference between the two. Slowish start by Asashoryu, but straight to the throat. Took it a little bit differently there. Brought his hand up, wedged in tight under Takanowaka's throat, and just drove him back. Let's watch that one again. There's the fist into the throat there. Not so much a fist really, it's an open hand. And that's just kept Takanowaka going straight backwards. Second loss for Takanowaka. He's got 9 wins already. 8th win for Asashoryu and Kachikoshi. Well, this young Mongolian certainly putting a lot of excitement into sumo these days. Don't think the Japanese really like fighting the Mongolians very much. They're always unorthodox and they're rough as well. Now Tochinonada fights Koto Mitsuki. These have 6 head-to-heads previously. Koto Mitsuki's won 4 of them. Koto Mitsuki with 5 wins, Tochinonada with 6, marginally ahead. It's a nice lot of boxing, coxing, 4 superior arm positions there, but it's Koto Mitsuki pushing in hard, gets that overarm grip, trying the uwatenage. So very neatly done there, just with one arm. He tosses Tochinonada down. Had that overarm grip and he kept it throughout, and that forced Tochinonada down. Koto Mitsuki, previous basho, as we know, he won it. One before that, only got 6 wins. One before that, did so-so, 9 wins. Then 10 wins the basho before that. Then the basho before that, he had pretty miserable result, 4 wins. And the one before that, 13. So up and down like a yo-yo in the past year or so for Koto Mitsuki. Now we have Kaiho, local boy. Needs at least another 3 wins to maintain his rank as Ozeki. And here fighting Tochiazuma. These two have had 19 previous matches. Kaiho's won 12 of them. Kaiho suffering from a lower back injury this time. Tochiazuma doing well, only 1 loss so far. And Kaiho some 25 kilos heavier than Tochiazuma. So head-banging start there. Tochiazuma locks in tight. Seems slightly reluctant to come forward. Kaiho using his longer arms and reach to keep Tochiazuma at bay a bit. Now Kaiho locking in tight now. He's pulled his hips back, making it difficult for Tochiazuma to grab the belt. And then he uses his what grip he has to power Tochiazuma over the edge. Second loss for Tochiazuma. He's still amongst that front-running group, so still a chance for him to win this basho. And a little bit of prize money there. Some Kensho prize money for Kaiho. Let's watch this one again. So you see the heads drop at the end as they meet. Kaiho tries a slap down. Then it's a bit of a standoff there, pushing him with his arms. Tochiazuma not looking too decisive at this moment. And eventually they close in again. But it's Kaiho's got that arm inserted there, sashite as they call it. It's on the inside, and that's denying Tochiazuma a bit of a grip. But nevertheless, starts moving forward, legs wide, and shoves him backwards over the circle. Now we have Musayama against the man who beat Musashi Maru yesterday, Daizen. 36-year-old veteran against the top Ozeki. Good start by Musayama, comes out hard and fast, looking very powerful, feet sliding a bit as Daizen resists him. Tries the Skuinagi, then he gets his leg behind. Seen a few of those techniques this time. Kirikaishi win there by Musayama, gives him 8 wins, and Kachikoshi. So at least that guarantees his position as Ozeki, not that it was in doubt. He turns in consistently good performances, has done over the last 3 or more basho. And that was the 6th loss for Daizen. Now we have Toki in the orange mawashi there on the right, a rough fighter. Not a lot of technique, but I somehow feel he's going to bounce off Musashi Maru. Maru is his nickname in the sumo world, Maru, and nickname for Toki is Tama. So Tama fights Maru. So Toki comes out, lowers his head, bangs in. Musashi Maru powering him out. So not a lot of trouble there for the Yokozuna. You see he looks a bit unruffled at that. That's his 10th win. Got only 1 loss. And that was the 5th loss for Toki. Well, Musashi Maru certainly, apart from his loss yesterday against Daizen, is looking on good form. So at the end of day 11, it's Musashi Maru in the lead with 10 wins and 1 loss. A step behind Tochiazuma and Takanonami with 9 wins and 2 losses. And a step behind them, Musoyama, Asaro, Shoryu and Kyokushuzan with 8-3. We'll be back after the break with day 12.